Faster than the Ferrari?
Definitely faster than a 90s Ferrari. We're doing basically a 3-year health checkup. I haven't touched the tune in 3 years. I might be selling it. This NSX did a 9-speed supercharger on it, AEM Infinity flex fuel, almost 4 years ago. At that time it made 454 on E70. Right now it's got E30 in it, but we're just basically doing a quick health checkup, make sure everything's running smooth. We don't have a fan on it at all, so you can change an IET. It's basically 40-degree IET difference between these two poles, lost about 20 horsepower. Peaked at 424, making 10.5 pounds, so I'd say it's still pretty healthy.
Several days later.
All right, so I got a wire transfer yesterday. The guy's buying my car tomorrow. We're gonna do one last ride. We wanted to do this NSX video, and I was like, I gotta compare the turbo NSX I've had for 10 years to the supercharged NSX. Very similar, but very different. We're gonna do one last ride. What do you think's the big difference between these two cars?
Well, the front ends look different.
Yeah, they're both 91s. So this one does have the O2 fixed headlights. It does have Root KS wide body, supposed to be 1 of 4 in the US. It does vent your radiator heat out. Decreases lift, increases downforce. Both these cars have big brake kits. This one has a nice stop tech. That one has a lesser known brand, WP Pro. Some people give me crap for putting Avid ones on here, but the actual real ones aren't available in the size anymore. So I didn't care so much about what brand it was. I just wanted the offset. I wanted this offset, and this was the only way to get it. So we do have some spoon mirrors. What I was excited about when I bought this car was all the rubbers were still fresh. They weren't cracking. Trim was nice. The paint was much rougher when I got it. Shout out to Adam Lovins. He may not even do details anymore, but he buffed this car and spent a ton of time on it. Completely transformed the paint. This car is sporting just a stock C30 stock motor. This one is obviously supercharged. Science of Speed, their newest TVS supercharger kit. Apparently we were the 20th supercharger kit, 20 out of 30. It's got their ported throttle body. It has some headers. I don't even know what brand they are, but it has headers and exhaust. Just tuned on AEM Infinity flex fuel. We've got ID 1050, 1050 cc injectors in here. The car runs fantastic. It's basically a stock car with 2 times the horsepower. Stock, they make 276 flywheel, I think. 240, 245 on the dyno. We're at 450 on E50, E60. It's how the car should have come from the factory. Ferrari killer. And as you can see, it's just a Honda. So some people love the stock body lines. I personally love stock body lines. The NSX is actually really popular for wide bodies. You love it or you hate it. You can run a little bit wider tire with the wide body setup. But yeah, stock, they do have that unique look. People ask me all the time if it's a C4 Corvette. Like, what more could you ask for than people thinking you have a C4 Corvette?
Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever ridden in this thing?
I've never ridden this thing.
I think I gave Nathan, our old intern Nathan, good friend of ours, who's now at Liberty University. I think this was his first ride in like NSX or any cool fast car, other than his Hyundai Veloster, which is not cool or fast. So this is a factory Honda nav pod. BTI makes a screen. All I know is it takes a little SD card that I have the software to like configure and put whatever gauges I want to on it. So we don't really actually have 12 pounds of oil pressure because that would be really bad. It is configured to read oil pressure once you put oil pressure sensor in it. I never got around to doing it. So fuel pressure works. We have our boost, our map, battery voltage, ethanol content is both a dial gauge there as well as a number of coolant, air intake temp. Then we have bank 1 and bank 2 air fuel. We do have that fancy 1991 manual steering, which is in parking lot, it's not fun, but once you get driving, I mean, cars are just so well balanced. Balanced as all things should be. You don't notice it. You're like, wow, this car's amazing. Pop and banging tune too. What is interesting is how much different this supercharged car sounds compared to my turbo car. How the turbo changes the exhaust note. Until you have a big truck coming. Well, that was with the air conditioning on. We gotta redo it. Real Honda guys know your air compressor on your single cam D15 robs you at least 30 horsepower. While you're driving, you can just disconnect your steering wheel, and then it drives itself. Tesla. My other red NSX was supercharged, before it was turbo, and I did some road Atlanta racing. I had an old school Comptech 1.6 supercharger on it. It would just heat soak really bad. I basically had a spacer that sprayed water meth. We'll be driving this car and do a few pulls, and the intake temps are at 140, 150, even with the air to water setup. Of course, setup could be better, definitely. I think you could do a custom one, bigger heat exchanger, some ram ducting to make sure the air gets passed through at a bigger coolant tank. It's a really small coolant tank. It holds like 10 ounces, maybe. Our 01, we have a 7-gallon tank.
Wow.
Brakes work. I'm biased, but if you're looking for a reliable exotic, I mean, you may disagree with my definition of exotic, but you can't beat these. I mean, it's a Honda reliability, but it has the exoticness of a 90s Ferrari. I tuned this thing 4 years. I haven't changed the tune. I haven't modified it or adjusted it once. Either that means I'm a really good tuner, or I don't know. What else could it mean? So what do you think, Kyle?
Dream come true. Dream come true. Been waiting for this car for a long time.
Ready to see you hit 8,000 RPM.
Wow, Honda made a very unique car for the 90s. I mean, what more could you want out of a sports car? A mid-engine V6 with an aluminum frame, it's lightweight, it's got manual steering, manual transmission. It looks cool. It's literally designed by an F1 driver, and it drives amazing. What more could you want? Just as Honda created the NSX for a purpose, Christ also made us with a purpose. And what is that purpose? Ultimately, that purpose is to glorify God. I kind of want to dive into a little bit of Ephesians and kind of talk about what Paul was trying to tell them. Paul said in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4 and 5, even as he chose us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and blameless before him in love, he predestined us for adoption to himself as sons through Christ Jesus, according to the purpose of his will. Before the world was even created, God had already planned our steps. Our salvation and our idea of salvation wasn't anything to do with us. It was all according to God. We didn't earn our salvation, and we can't unearn our salvation. And that followers of Christ, that we're saved by grace, not by anything that we did on earth. Later in chapter 2, Paul says, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them." Followers of Christ, God didn't just save us. He already had written out all of our assignments and everything we will do on this earth. God has already ordained the people that we will impact, the trials and tribulations that will affect us, as well as the opportunities that he will throw our way. I kind of want to highlight that word workmanship. In Greek, I'm literally going to put the word, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this word that we get right here is the word that we get poem from. And if you think of a poem, it's a piece of art. I kind of want to throw the analogy of a sculptor. Think of a sculptor and think of a marble. You know, that sculptor is going to shape and transform that marble all the way that he wants to do. And he already has a vision for the outcome. Same with God. God has created the earth. He has created everything according to his handiwork and according to his will. On our channel, we talk about the sovereignty of God because it's so important. Just as we talked about in our last video, you mentioned sovereignty in a modern day church and they're scratching their head. What is sovereignty? And as we say, sovereignty is God has control over everything. He has dominion over everything. He calls, chooses, directs history, everything. And us as humans, we have to obey and trust and follow the path that God has already laid before us. Why do I even mention any of this? Why does this even matter in day-to-day life? Even when life gets crazy, life can get confusing, God is never confused. As we mentioned in our last video, no, he's already knowing what's going to happen. And the same thing, God has already laid our path down. And before in Romans, Paul wrote Romans chapter 8, 29 through 30. He said, "For those whom he foreknew, he also predestined to be conformed to the image of his Son, in order that he might be the firstborn among many brothers. And those whom he predestined, he also called. And those whom he also called, he also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. This shows a chain of salvation. Notice how it's completely initiated by God. We didn't stumble over something and fall into faith. God initiated us. He called us, he set us, and that's his will. You're probably like, Dalton, this is great. What must we do now? Luckily, we have an answer. And Paul wrote it literally 2 chapters after what we read in Ephesians. He says, I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge to you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Now that we are saved and we're in Christ, things have to change. Every decision, every relationship, everything that we do has to align with God. We must submit to God, bow the knee and say, Jesus is King. Jesus said in John 15:8, this is to my Father's glory that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. Good works does not save you. It's all about faith. But good works are a result of faith. And here Jesus says, you must bear good fruit showing that you are my disciples. 2,000 years later, here in 2025, when people look at us, they must see Jesus. To kind of wrap this up, I want to go to what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5. On the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said, in the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. God's sovereignty doesn't excuse passivity. It fuels obedience. God is in control. Everything that he does is according to his will. There's nothing that humanity can do to stop it. Let others see Jesus when they look at you. Ultimately, our purpose in life is to glorify God and show others the good news of the gospel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this NSX right here.
See his Ferrari?
Bro, that's not a Ferrari. It's a Honda, bro. It's the
Literally
NSX.
says Ferrari right
It does
there.
not, bro. It is a Honda NSX. Look at the side. It says on the door handle.
Nah.
Right there.
Too bad.
You badged it?
Yeah.
It says NSX. It's a Honda. What are you talking about? My goodness, bro.
Just as low as the other one. Got gospel tracks. One of my very first business cards I ever made in here. That's when I fabbed the turbo kit for it. Put the gospel on them too.
Look at there.
Well, all the interior is apart at the moment. Like, this is apart because I got this fancy digital dash. It says our high beams are on and they're not on. As our doors are open and our doors aren't open. He sent us like a new little adapter thing. I'm supposed to be the first person in America to test this Swedish dash. Definitely an upgrade over the factory dash.
Looks cool.
At this point, if we K-swap it, we're just going to put a Haltech in it. So,
No headliner.
weight reduction. When it was daily driven by me for 2.5 years, full interior, air conditioning worked. Might still work. Pretty unlikely, but you try it.
Whoa, all that dust.
Spiders.
Hey, this one's got pop-ups.
You fixed the clutch, right?
I did.
The factory clutch. It is slipping. Kind of the other reason I haven't driven it a ton. It doesn't like 500 horsepower.
Can imagine.
Mainly first and second.
Sounds like auto.
It slips all the time. Air conditioning works great though. Really surprised.
Very cold.
It didn't work when I got it, so I spent a lot of time. When I bought this car, flew down to Boca Raton, Florida. Almost got chopped up by a Haitian guy selling it. I don't even know how I got the title. Somehow I got the title for this thing after a few months. He told me, he's like, yeah, everything's great, everything works fine. The night before I was about to fly down there, he's like, oh, the clock spring and steering wheel doesn't work. So the cruise control doesn't work, the horn doesn't work.
Oh,
So I
nice.
was like, oh, okay, not that big a deal. Then I get down there, one of the bolts in the steering column is broken, air conditioning doesn't work, one of the lights behind the tachometer gauge wasn't working, the door handle was broke. I had a list of 13 things. Thankfully, hindsight, like, I feel a decent buy because they've appreciated. At the time, I probably shouldn't have bought the car. And I spent a long time. Like, I documented an entire bill on NSX Prime, building this car, going through and just fixing everything.
Sounds cool.
It's like my biggest reason I don't want to put a K-Series in it because my K-Series sound as good as old JDM V6s.
They sound really good. Very unique. Wow.
Like a C4 Corvette. Off the air conditioning. Step 1. Step 2, speed up the video to at least 3 times speed. And then
me.
The gas is probably like 4 years old, so it's on E23 right now, which is probably actually higher. It's a very fun car to drive.
Yeah, very raw feeling. Oh yeah.
It doesn't have a ton of torque. This turbo set, I take a little bit of pride in custom building, but we're the only one like it ever. It has a 60-62 precision. Pretty sure I built it in 2016 was when I built this turbo kit. When we tuned it, it had a perfectly flat torque curve from 4,000 RPM all the way 8,200. 310 foot-pounds of torque. Wow. I can't really push this engine harder because no one builds the motors. I can paint it, do the clutch. The old drain setup builds up under hard acceleration, so when you let off, there's a little bit of diesel smoke. So I kind of did what we were doing. We can do all that work and put it back together, like lift ahead or blow up. That's why I have such a hard time. To rebuild it would be to completely rebuild it. If someone show me a K series that sounds better than this, and I'll do it right now. Blank check to myself and Dalton to build my own car for myself.
Perfect.
Now we're going to stop and get the highest quality 93 available in Alexander County from this fancy gas station right here. Is this a drive-through bikini wash? Let's have two-step.
Wow. All right, so we just got done driving the NSX. We had it sprayed off, clean it up just a little bit. We got the NSX in here. We're gonna do a few things to it, but I'm also going to take the red bumper that was on it, take it off, as well as the fenders. Elijah actually has a new bumper, new fenders to go on it as well. We're gonna go ahead and pull those off. So it's like 30 pounds. So those together weigh roughly 6 pounds, so about 3 pounds each. That's like 30, almost 40 pounds in the front end. In there.
Just one on Pixar boost leaks. But I don't know what to do with it now. I thought about adding another wastegate spring, but I don't have anything to make it 10 pounds. I have enough to make it 12 pounds. So definitely below 10. What do we do now? Paint it, sell it, race it, put a K-swap in it?
Comment below. The boost leak's fixed. It is still leaking on this injector, and then it's leaking on this throttle body shaft. Not really anything we can do about it. The biggest leak is another boost leak. Clamp under here that was completely off. I'm surprised the pipe didn't come off. Put the wastegate back on. We got it done. We put the new fenders on it. We put the new bumper on it and the side skirts. Personally, this is how they should have came from factory. That looks so good. We have this fender here. This fender actually does stick out a little bit farther than the factory one. You can kind of tell back here actually has this vent on the inside. This fender looks awesome. And it even matches with this new side skirt that we put on. This side skirt does make the car look lower, but yeah, this thing looks sick. Hey, the front lip looks pretty good on you.
Yeah, so other than putting on this, what do we do next? Let us know in the comments. Do we turn it into a race car and put a K-Series, maybe with a sequential? Or do we repaint it, make it nice, and either put a K-Series in it or just, I don't even know. I don't know what to do.
Comment below.
If you have any questions about today's content or Bible study, please reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, Wretched Racing. You can email us at wretchedracing@gmail.com. If you'd like a Bible or any kind of gospel material, we would love to send it to you for free. We also have t-shirts and hoodies. Thanks for watching.